Hi everybody, so today I'm going to be talking about your group sessions. Now this video is going to go on for a little bit of a long period, so stick me out. Now if you're in the course and you've got the manual, make sure you've got that printed off because all of your criteria is there. If you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook or something like that, please remember to subscribe to the channel. Just hit that subscribe button, just tap it for me so that you can get some updates and things like that. And make sure to hit that bell as well so that you can get the notifications when the free video each week comes up. Okay, so let's talk about some group sessions. So many hypnotherapy sessions can be executed as a group, okay? Sessions such as weight loss, pain management, and all that sort of stuff can run as a group session. So you can have more people in the room. So you can have standalone sessions as well. So I teach my IBS hypnosis, and that all can be done in a group scenario as well, or you can do it on a singular basis. Different people do things for different reasons. Some people love to be in groups, others like that one-on-one connection, things like that. So you can do more people with less time. So why do a group session? So it's a great way to make some extra money without the extra time. I know myself that I get really, really busy, but there are some scenarios where I can do a group session rather than individual stuff. And it doesn't even have to be inside your room. If you don't have the room for it, you could do it online or anything like that. So you can make some extra income without all that extra time out of your week. You can bring people together as well. So when I do my group sessions, all of a sudden you've got all these people from all over the world that are making friendships and stuff like that. I had one lady who jumped into my online session and she met a lady over in the UK. They have been best mates for like 4 or 5 years now. She's gone over to the UK and stayed with her, and Zoya from the UK has come over to Australia, and they've had holidays together and stuff like that. So you can really bring people together. You can create a stronger client base as well. So when those people are actually networking with each other, they can talk, they can give you feedback, and you can get this really, really strong client base where they all talk to other people and like, hey, you've got to do this, you've got to do this. It's fantastic. It can also lead to other business. So if you start off with a group session, you only get 2 or 3 people in, then all of a sudden that can become exponential. So the 1 turns into the 2 turns into the 4 turns into 8. So it can actually grow and explode as people talk to other people. You can be seen as an authority figure as well. There's a lot of people, our biggest phobia that is available in this world is public speaking, so talking in front of other people. So as soon as you get over that part and you become the authority figure in the room, people look up to you and they start to respect you, and then they start to actually gel themselves to the product or service. And it's just great fun to do. I don't know how many times I've done my IBS group sessions or my menopause one. I did my pain one, and I'm just pinging for hours because I've helped all these wonderful people with a problem that they've had. I've done past life healing ones at psychic fairs, and you're just pinging because it's so energizing that you've helped so many people all in that one space of time. So how do you get started? Okay, so you write down out an itinerary and be completely unique. Now there's an expansion of all of this stuff inside the manual if you're doing it. If you're not doing the course with the manual, then please tap on the link, and that way you can actually jump on board and get all of the full criteria. So write out an itinerary and be unique about it. Sure, there's there's always some guidelines to follow, but don't be afraid to be an exception to the rule as well. So write out your itinerary and start to brand yourself. Brand what it is that you want to do, what you think that people will enjoy. Are your freebies engaging? So do you have some free offers that people will actually want? I've forgotten the amount of times that I've gone to a group session or something like that, and they've given me a free pen. Whoop-de-doo. Okay, I've got 500 millions of these. It's going to get thrown in the basket with all of the others. I don't give a shit. Okay, that's as simple as that. Give away a freebie that's engaging, whether it's part of your product, maybe a free session one-on-one with you, or something that's a bit more engaging. I got a squishy ball from one, and I'm like, okay, I've got a squishy ball. This is kind of like the toys you get out of the crackers at Christmas time. They're just a waste of space. It's just junk. So give away a freebie that's engaging, not that's junk. Ensure that you have enough time for people, okay? So when I do my IBS group sessions for people that are suffering from IBS, I allow about an hour and a half, but I also have a 30-minute buffering as well, because people like to tell stories and ask questions. Maybe you're going to get somebody in the room that, they ask the same question 10 times, but in 10 different ways. It happens, okay? And then you'll have other times where, boom, you'll be done in like an hour instead of an hour and a half, and then you think, oh, did I miss something, or did I forget part of the criteria? What's going on here? So ensure that you have enough time for people to talk and ask questions and take photos and selfies and all that sort of stuff as well. Get excited about being nervous. Every single time I've gone on stage to do anything, whether it's an IBS conference, whether it's one of my bigger conferences or a public speech, or even just being asked to talk sort of thing, I get excited, but I also get the shaky knees and stuff like that. So get excited about being nervous. You're going to meet all these new people. You're going to be, you're going to be on the ball as such. So you're going to get these questions that you need answers to, and you can just trust your mind, trust your gut to actually come up with that. Have tea, coffee, and water and small snacks available. Now, when you're doing this, make sure it's a little bit nicer as well. You just don't want the run-of-the-mill, shortbread that's, 79 cents or something like that. Have something nice. Be a high quality person with a high quality product. Sure, it might cost you an extra $5 or $10, but at the end of the day, once you get that high quality sense going on, people will actually go, oh, it was so nice. They had these wonderful little cupcakes, because people love food, and they had this really nice coffee, and then they'll start talking about it. Have all of your criteria ready to go. So like I said, in the manual, there's an expansion of all of this stuff. So have all of your criteria ready to go. Have your sign-up forms, have your debit forms, have the whole lot ready to go. Print it out in bulk and always have excess. I've actually traveled to other countries to run my my IBS conferences and things like that. And then I'm sitting there in another country, and all of a sudden I get an email from someone, and they're like, hey, is there any chance I could attend at the last minute? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I packed those 2 extra packs. And I'm like, yeah, sure. All of a sudden I've got all this extra money coming in. I've got another person that's coming to my course, and it just becomes exponential. So when you get into the actual session, limit your first lot of group sessions to about 5 to 10 people, okay? This creates a nurturing group that will learn effectively. As you grow and you get busier and busier, then you can start actually networking more with more people in the room. But when you're first starting out, just start off small. I start off with like 2 or 3 when I first started, and then went to 5, and then went to 10, and now I have anywhere up to 100 people in the room at any one time. So when you're first starting out, creating a nurturing group. There are certain group sessions that I will run where I only take like 5 people or 8 people, because they need that more nurturing support environment rather than that hundreds of people that are like, yeah, sort of thing. So when you're first starting out, just create that nurturing group. Know your content as well. So have cues in your slideshows to keep you on track and things like that. So when I have my slideshows at my conferences, I've got a little star down in the corner, and that reminds me that, oh, this is morning tea time, or I'm going to have this one done by lunch or something like that. And also know your content. If you have a manual or something like that, at least know some of the pages that the content is on. You don't have to know exactly where a word is in a paragraph, but at least know that, on page 10, this is where the group session starts, or have a little prompt on your screen that'll help you out and the people watching those slideshows. So it's very easy to get distracted and off topic. So you may have a student that asks a question, and then all of a sudden, when you're actually talking about that, that'll lead to a story that you're told, then they tell another story, then another story is told, and everyone's showing each other videos, and all of a sudden you've wasted another 20-30 minutes and you've gotten off topic. It's very easy to do. Make sure your room is neat and tidy, okay? Give it a dust, give it a clean, jazz it up. I've lost count of the amount of times that I've done a conference somewhere, and I've gone along and I'm like, right, all right, all hands on deck, you've got to clean this room. The window sills, the whiteboard, absolutely everything. And it's not that it's dirty, it's just that it doesn't shine. It's not, pristine enough. Especially when they bring in like the LCD screen and stuff like that. And I'm like, wow, Can you see through this? Can I have a cloth, please? I need this cleaned. So make sure it's neat and tidy and really shines and sparkles. That's why places like Apple and jewelry stores and things like that have all the lights, because they want things to sparkle, because, you know, we're attracted to things that sparkle and shine. So make sure that your room is the same. Can everybody see you and engage with you? I'm not a huge fan of what they call the theatre setup, so that's where people sit behind each other. I'm more of a fan of a U-shaped setup, and that's because I want people to be able to see me and engage with me one-on-one whilst in that group scenario. Will everyone hear you clearly? So I am actually deaf, so I wear hearing aids, and audio is crucial for me. And when it comes to audio, I have to hear it. If I don't hear it, I will lose interest and I'll get disengaged, and you kind of become this ripple effect where people start to, mirror you, so they'll get on their phones and stuff like that. So will everyone hear you clearly? Do you need to invest in a better microphone or a better system of some sort? Make sure that you can be heard. Also, get on Facebook Live, okay? Just get onto it. People relate to people. So reality TV shows take up 80% of viewing time on TV. So people want to actually get to know you. They want to hear about your triumphs and your tribulations and things like that. So get onto Facebook Live. It's completely free. You can have an interview with someone. You can just talk about what it is that you're doing, get some hype, say, hey, grab my, jump onto the course in the comments and blah, blah, blah. So make sure that you jump onto that. And it's free. It's completely free. Don't swizzle around when you're on Facebook, okay? I've lost count the amount of times as soon as they get the camera going, they're like, stop it. Okay? Stand still. You're making people dizzy. You don't have to keep moving around, or as soon as they get on the phone, they've got to walk. No, just stop. Okay? Make sure that if you do need to move around, that it is very slow and very smooth. Okay? You don't have to just go, You're making people dizzy, you're making them sick, and you're disengaging them. So don't swizzle around when you're on Facebook Live. Know your content. The ums and ahs make you sound and look unprofessional, okay? It's okay to make a stuff up or something like that, or, even drop an F word or something like that, or every now and again go, ooh, or something like that, but don't do it all the time. There's heaps of people that go out there and they're just like, I'm here to tell you today that all about my stuff. It's not engaging. So, it's okay to repeat content and things like that, but don't have your ums and ahs in there all the time. Practice a little bit what you want to say, maybe play it out just before you go live for a couple of minutes, and then go from there. Make sure your background is neat and tidy as well. So if you're on Facebook Live, trust me, I'm the kind of person that's looking to see if you've got dishes in the background. So make sure your background is neat and tidy. Is the washing put away? Is the backdrop actually appropriate? There's no point in you going out on Facebook Live and you've got the sun pouring through on that camera and no one can see you. So just move around a bit until you get that lighting right, and make sure that it is neat and tidy. Don't get distracted from the point. So it's okay to say hello or something like that, but try and keep yourself on track when you're on Facebook Live, because people are usually just popping in and they want to just get the content and get out again. So make sure that you stick to the point. Jump on live before, during, and after the event as well. So jump on live before you're starting out saying, hey, we're setting up, this is what's happening, blah, blah, blah. And then jump on it during. We're just like, hey, these people are going through this. Make sure you have permission from people that are in the class as well. I'm very, very protective of my client confidentiality, even when I'm at conferences and stuff. So sometimes I'll actually just film along the floor where there are lots of people sitting and stuff like that. I won't show their faces. Sometimes I will actually just film myself and I'll say to them, hey, if you want to jump in, then jump in. Otherwise, just make heap of noise in the background. And then also go live after you've done the conference, like when you're packing up and stuff like that, and talk about it. Let people know what's going on and help them to submerge themselves into that event they're not even at. So they're like, oh, I want to attend the next one. So your session is going to begin now. Okay, so make sure you greet people when they come in, even if you're not quite sure on their name because they've signed up and their Facebook page doesn't look like what they look like. So just greet people as they come in. Get out of your comfort zone and into theirs, okay? Create knowledge. So where is the toilet? If you're having a smoker, where can they smoke and all that sort of stuff. So create knowledge. When people are in a group class, they feel like they might need permission. So they'll sit there and they'll hold the toilet, they'll hold their bladder, and it's like, no, you don't have to do any of that. You can go in and out as much as you want. There's the smoking area. If you need a bit of time out, go down the hall here, blah, blah, blah. Show people where the refreshment station is, okay? People need permission to help themselves. So I actually say to people, I'm like, hey, the tea and coffee's over there, just go nuts, make sure you enjoy it, blah, blah, blah. Also, do you have a mobile phone policy? So when I'm in my group sessions, I actually have a pillow that is in the waiting area, and I'm like, look, all mobile phones get switched off onto silent and get put on the pillow. If they're not going to comply with the mobile phone policy, that's fine. Take your mobile phone, go somewhere else, because I will not have that mobile phone going off and disturbing the other people that are getting healing within that session. Have an engagement policy as well. So how is it that when you very first start, how are people going to engage with each other? Some people get people to jump up and start moving around to a song to create energy. Some people will actually have an activity, like a group activity of some sort, and other people will just go around and do an introduction of some sort. So have an engagement policy and make sure you introduce yourself as well. Tell them your story. So as much as, yeah, sure, they've booked in with you, they don't know your story, how it is that you got trained and why you're there. So make sure you have something engaging and engage with yourself. Set up expectations, ensure that they are written down. So on my slideshow, one of my very first slides is the setup of expectations. So I'm like, I talk fast, I do swear, all these sorts of things. Set up some expectations so people don't get shocked when you say the word fuck or something like that. So make sure you set up those expectations. When John and I are at conferences, like John's in charge of the tech side, and I say to him, if you have any questions about mobile phones, tablets, web pages, things like that, John's your guy. Please talk to him. And by the way, he's very easygoing and he loves talking tech. Stay on track with your message and stick to the criteria. So I have a criteria set out and I will know approximately how much time each one of those criteria take. I have a clock on the back wall so that I know how much time I'm spending on each criteria. So I know that section 1 is 15 minutes, section 2 is 15 minutes, so that's 30 minutes, then break. Then the next one's 15 minutes, and then break. So I make sure I stick to the criteria and I have that time frame, and I make sure I watch that clock so that I can stay on track and my clients aren't getting to a stage of like, falling asleep and things like that. Mix it up. It's you, them, and us. They're not coming so that you can just yabber the whole time for like 2 hours. Make sure you mix it up. So you can talk, that's all about you, and then you ask them to engage, and then you engage with everybody else. So it's you, them, and us. Create all sorts of different stuff where you mix it up. If you're just going to stand there and talk for 2 hours, you're probably going to lose interest in a lot of people. So I make sure I talk about me, the criteria, and then I ask them about their criteria and what's going on. Then I'll have like a piece of paper with a thing that they have to do on it. Then it will go back to me. So make sure you mix it up. When it comes to the future, you have to have a plan for this as well. So what are your future services? When you get to the end of the criteria, just before the crescendo, okay, you don't want to, if you're doing a conference or something like that, you don't want to give away the certificates, then do your future services, because people aren't going to wait around. So I actually do my future services, and then I give out the certificates so that way people will wait around. So what is your future service? Some people call it the upsell. I call it a future service. This is how I could help you more in the future. So what is it that your future services that you're going to offer just for that event? And also stick to the rules when it comes to that. I've been burnt something horrible when it comes to this, where people go, oh, well, can I have the special price like next week or something like that? And then you're like, yes, of course you can. And then it gets to next week, things like that. And they're like, no, I've changed my mind. And then 2 weeks later, they're like, oh, well, you said I could have that special price. I wonder if I could have it now. Just stick to your criteria. You're going to be very, very busy, and you really don't need to be dealing with the minglers as such. Just let them go off and do their thing. If they can't do it at that time, then say to them, look, you're free to come back for the next lot of sessions and get the deal again. You're going to be busy. You don't have time to stuff around with the little indecises, okay? So if they can't decide on the day, maybe they don't have the money or something like that, just say to them, look, you can come back to the next event and we can do it then, okay? So what are your future services? Make sure you also thank your clients for coming along. Make sure you be really grateful and honored that they've given their life to you. They only get one life and they've chosen to give it to you. So feel honored about that and thank them. Be coachable, so ask for a feedback sandwich. So ask them, I would really like you to give me a feedback sandwich. So give me something positive, something negative that you think that I could improve on, and then something else positive as well. Take on that feedback. Sure, sometimes I get feedback and I'm like, you know what, I can't fix that because it's out of my control. But the point is that I know that it's there. So I can try and improve it if I can, but if I can't, well, you know what, shit happens. That's life. Some people like to pick negative feedback just because they can. That's okay. Allow them to pick the negative feedback. And you never know, you might actually come across feedback that you didn't even know that was happening. And you're like, oh, thank you for that. I didn't realize I was coming across like that. So be coachable from your participants and your students as well. Do some research. Where do they find out about you? So ask them, hey, did you find me on Facebook or Instagram or whatever? So you know that your marketing is working. There are so many different platforms for advertising now. So I had a phone call a little while back and it was from the natural therapies pages or something like that. And I just said to him, I said, no, I said, I haven't heard good feedback. At the end of the day, when it comes to the analytics and the statistics that are going on, I'm better off actually spending my money on Facebook advertising and reaching more people rather than going with that individual service. It's not that I don't want to support them, but at the end of the day, I work really hard for my money and I want to know that it's turning over. If I wanted to throw it away for free, I could just throw it out in the gutter and then watch people scurry for it, and at least I'd get a laugh about that at the end of the day. So make sure you do some research. Where did they find out from you? Was it from a friend? Was it from Facebook? Where was it from, so that you can actually keep on going with that marketing? Ask for testimonials, written or video, okay? A lot of people prefer video as well when it comes to conferences and things like that. When it comes to group sessions, when I'm working with clients for IBS or pain management, I actually prefer written, and I want them to write it on Google, because when it comes to Google, star ratings and things like that, that works with my search engine optimization, and then that boosts up my web page. So I actually want written, but I do like when a video testimonial when it comes to my conferences and things like that. Referrals that work. So make sure that you get your client to become your referral. Actually ask them to send somebody else along. So if you say to them, hi, you can just walk up and go, hi, Angela, is there somebody else that I could help with this service? I'm going to give you a voucher to give to them for 20% off for the next one, sort of thing. And now that they will give it to them, and then all of a sudden you've got a reverse referral going on where the client goes, oh well, my sister would love this. I'm like, here's 20% off for your sister, please give it to her. So make sure you give those make sure you turn your clients into your referrals as well, and that they are working for you. So we have full training of this course in the modern mentoring. So when it comes to the group sessions that rock, there's actually a full criteria in our modern mentoring that takes you from the idea to the group sessions to launch. So many students have gone to the launch stage and successfully actually, got their products and their services out there with this course. I had one lady that emailed me and she wanted to launch her course, and I said to radio, let's do this. I'm going to help you out. And then all of a sudden she was like, oh my gosh, I don't even know how to turn on a computer. She went from full launch. She went from 0 to hero in 8 weeks. She got all of these people into her course, and then all of a sudden she was doing a fantastic job, and now she's just completely launched her product all across Australia. So kudos to her. So we have full training of this in the modern mentoring. So it can take you from not knowing anything at all to sorting out the full criteria. So join me in the next video. I'm going to be talking about all of the forms that you need for your business. So your intake forms and things like that. When I first started looking for forms, I actually asked my mentor for some forms, like for some inspiration. And she looked at me like I had insulted her. And I'm like, it's just a form. And then she informed me that that was available in the next tier. And I'm like, that's not fair. You're just starting out as a hypnotherapist or an NLP or something like that. And now you're telling me I can't have the form to sign people up. So I've included that in the Essential Hypnosis. So I'm going to take you through some of the forms and things like that. And if you are part of the course, then you can actually download all of my forms so that way you can get some inspiration. So make sure that you subscribe to the channel, okay? So hit that subscribe button and also tap on the bell so that you can get notifications for the future. This has been a very long video. I hope it has helped inform you, and you can get that group sessions that rocks in the Modern Mentoring simply just by tapping the link. So otherwise from that, I'll see you in the next video. We're going to be talking about some more business-based forms so that we can get you up and running. All right? Have an awesome day, everybody. Bye-bye.